If you're serious about completing the Great Loop without draining your retirement savings, hit that subscribe button right now, because every week on this channel we break down real boats, real prices, and real numbers, no sales pitches, no fluff. Now let's get straight into it. Today we're looking at 4 pocket trawlers, all available for under $60,000, that are proven, capable choices for the full Great Loop route. We'll cover the specifications, the engine types, real used market pricing, and what to actually look for when you're evaluating one of these boats in person. You already know the loop is roughly 6,000 miles, up the East Coast, through the Great Lakes, down the inland rivers, across the Gulf, and back through Florida. What you might not know is that you don't need a 6-figure motor yacht to do it. A well-chosen, well-maintained trawler in this price range is more than capable, and in a lot of cases, a smaller boat is actually the smarter, lower-risk choice, especially with marina fees calculated by the foot and well over 100 locks to work through along the way. Let's start with the first boat, the Ranger Tug R27. This is a smaller trawler built on a modified V hull, which gives it a more stable, comfortable ride in open water crossings, such as on the Great Lakes or the Gulf. It's powered by a single diesel engine, and fuel efficiency is one of its strongest selling points, often exceeding 1 nautical mile per gallon, depending on your cruising speed. That translates directly into lower fuel costs over a multi-month journey and fewer stops needed along the way. The helm is fully enclosed, which matters more than people expect once you're crossing the Great Lakes in the fall or dealing with cooler weather heading south later in the season. Below deck, you get a functional galley, a marine head with a shower, and sleeping space for 2. It's also trailerable, which can reduce your storage and haul-out costs significantly. Used models typically range from $45,000 to $58,000 depending on the year and condition. When looking at a used Ranger tug, pay close attention to engine hours. A well-maintained diesel on this boat can often run past 5,000 hours without major issues, but you'll want maintenance records confirming regular oil changes, impeller replacements, and fuel filter changes. Also, check the condition of the canvas enclosure around the helm, since replacing that can run a few $1,000s if it's worn out. The second boat on our list is the Mainship 30 Pilot. This one has a strong reputation in the Great Loop community, and unlike some of its larger siblings, it's actually realistic to find in good condition under our $60,000 budget. Used models regularly come up in the $45,000 to $58,000 range, particularly ones with recent engine work or updated electronics already done by the previous owner. It runs on a single diesel engine, which keeps long-term maintenance simple and predictable, something that matters a great deal when you're 1,000 miles from your home marina and relying on whatever mechanic is available in a small river town. The walk-around deck design is worth mentioning specifically, since on a trip like the Loop, you'll be handling lines and fenders through dozens, sometimes over 100 lock systems. A full walk-around deck lets you move safely from bow to stern without obstruction, which matters a lot when current is pushing against the boat mid-lock. Inside, the layout gives you a separate sleeping cabin, a convertible dinette, and enough storage for a couple planning to live aboard for several months. If you're evaluating a used Mainship, ask specifically about fuel tank condition, since older models can develop corrosion over time, and a recent survey will typically flag it. Also check whether the generator, if equipped, has been regularly run and serviced, since a neglected one can be a costly repair. Quick question for you before we move to boat 3. Which layout sounds better for your trip? Something with a separate sleeping cabin like the Mainship, or a more compact, simpler setup? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. The third boat on our list is the C-Dory 25 Cruiser. At 25 feet, this is the smallest boat on today's list, but it has one of the strongest reputations in the entire Great Loop community, and the reason comes down to construction. The hull is foam-filled, which makes the boat effectively unsinkable, a detail that matters a great deal when you're crossing open water sections like Chesapeake Bay or the Gulf near Florida. Fuel efficiency is excellent, with models available in either a small diesel configuration or a well-matched outboard setup, both known for low fuel consumption. Handling is another strong point. Even boaters with limited offshore experience report feeling confident during open water crossings, which is a common concern for anyone newer to bigger water. Used C-Dory 25s typically sell in the $35,000 to $50,000 range, making it one of the more affordable and lower-risk options on this list. Keep in mind, because it's the smallest boat here, cabin space and storage are more limited. This tends to work best for a couple comfortable with a simpler living arrangement or for a solo traveler. If you're considering this one, spend a night aboard at the dock before committing to a multi-month trip, just to confirm the space actually works for you. The fourth and final boat on our list is the Albin 28 Trawler. This is a full displacement hull design, originally built with Scandinavian engineering for offshore North Sea conditions, and that background shows in how the boat handles rougher water, offering a smoother, more stable ride at typical trawler cruising speeds compared to lighter, planing-style hulls. For a long-distance journey like the Great Loop, that stability means less fatigue on long travel days and generally solid fuel economy at cruising speed. Well-maintained used models are regularly available within budget, particularly those with a rebuilt engine or updated navigation electronics. For anyone who values proven, offshore-grade construction over speed, this is one of the strongest value options on the used market today. With the Albin 28, engine access and maintenance history matter especially, since these boats tend to be older on average than the others on this list. A pre-purchase survey and sea trial are strongly recommended, along with a compression test on the engine if it isn't documented in recent maintenance records. Beyond the purchase price, plan for a marine survey, typically $300 to $600, insurance, which usually runs 1 to 3% of the boat's value annually, and a maintenance reserve for the trip itself. Most experienced loopers recommend budgeting an additional $5,000 to $10,000 beyond the purchase price for pre-trip preparation and a maintenance cushion. So to summarize, the Ranger Tug R27 gives you modern comfort, strong fuel efficiency, and trailerable flexibility. The Mainship 30 Pilot offers proven reliability and livable space at a genuinely realistic price point. The C-Dory 25 Cruiser delivers exceptional stability and affordability in a smaller, easier-to-handle package. And the Albin 28 Trawler brings serious offshore-grade construction without the offshore-grade price tag. Each of these 4 boats is fully capable of completing the entire Great Loop without requiring a 6-figure budget or unnecessary risk to your savings. If you found this useful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this reach other boaters researching the exact same decision you are right now. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we break down real boats and real numbers like this every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.